All right, I've been meaning to make this video for a while. I definitely picked up some mics, got these used, topic of the day. Wasn't even thinking about that. To improve the audio, they're super easy to use. It's the Rode Wireless Go. It's the old version. The new version has multiple mics where you could mic up several people. It's just me, so I only need one, and it was much cheaper, crazy easy to use. Topic for the day, buying and selling used gear, camera equipment. Obviously you buy and sell tons of stuff, but what I wanted to talk about today was the benefits of buying used, obviously cost, versus buying new. When it comes to camera gear, anything from camera bodies to lenses to memory cards, accessories, filters. One side note, I highly advise do not buy memory cards from Amazon. You don't know what you're going to get. When it comes to memory cards, bite the bullet and either buy it from a known person, like a photographer who is just unloading them, like XQD cards or something, or just buy them new. It's worth it. It'll save you a lot of headache. So the topic of buying and selling used, I'll start with used retail. And so one place to buy used camera gear is obviously from retailers. Places like Adorama, B&H Photo, Robert's Camera has a section of their site called UsedPhotoPro. You can buy used cameras, lenses, whatever, batteries, chargers from them. You will pay a slight premium from buying used from a retailer. What you get for that premium is often a warranty, a 3-month or a 6-month warranty with your camera body. But again, you pay for it. So one of the options for buying used is through the retail avenue. When it comes to selling, you can sell through retail. I wouldn't do it. There's too many other good options. I will say that I do my best to avoid eBay, and I do my best to avoid Craigslist. I have used them. I use them minimally, only when necessary. It's easier in LA, like I live in Los Angeles, and I used to live in a small town, and I would post iPhones or camera gear or something for sale, and it would never sell. In Los Angeles, you can sell something immediately almost. But you gotta be, you gotta understand your buyer, understand the location, what you're gonna take for form of payment. So anyway, we'll dive into, just a quick dive into the used retail. Let's say you wanna buy this setup. This is the Fuji X-E2 and the 27mm, now Mark I, the original version. I don't remember what this was new. I'm guessing this combo new was probably $1,000. It's an older combo. In fact, a very popular Fuji YouTuber, Omar Gonzalez, I can't recommend his channel enough, recently did a video on this camera. It's an amazing camera. If you just need a body to go out and walk around the neighborhood, kind of a do-it-all solution, this is a perfect camera for that, perfect combo for that. What it's not perfect for is fast autofocus. You won't be happy. But where I'm going is, if I wanted to buy this today, I could go to UsedPhotoPro, probably not B&H or Adorama. I could go to KEH.com. They're located in Smyrna, Georgia. Little Georgia shout out. You probably could find it in a retailer, and you would probably pay, I'm guessing, like $300 for the body and probably $300 for this lens. So this setup would cost you, say, $600 to $700 used from a retailer. Hey to you too. So you'd get a 3 to 6 month warranty. You'd have your camera. Go have fun. So used retailers. KEH, that's KEH.com, UsedPhotoPro.com, a portion, or it looks like an offshoot of Robert's Camera, and then also, B&H, Adorama. So we've covered the used from a retailer. You can buy used. I don't recommend selling used because all they want to do is buy it for literally half of what they can sell it for. So you're going to get peanuts on the dollar, whatever that phrase is. So let's go the other route. Let's go used non-retail. That could be eBay, scratch them for the most part. That could be Craigslist, scratch them. Again, this is an example. You want to buy a Fuji XE2 and a 27mm combo because you just want it. You saw it on Omar's channel and you're like, I gotta have it. It's taking amazing photos. Some places that you can buy this camera are fredmiranda.com. Now that's a photography site, and that's Fred, as in the name Fred, Miranda, M-I-R-A-N-D-A, fredmiranda.com. And you go to their used or their buy and sell gear forum, and you're dealing with more photographers, I feel like, on that site. I really have had great experiences with that site. Something like this, you might have to wait. You might have to kind of see if things pop up. If you want to pay a few dollars, I think you can sign up to list a want to buy and post this. You post this as a want to buy and someone's going to have one. But where I'm going is, this on a site like Fred Miranda, this body is going to cost you about $200, maybe $250. And this lens is going to cost you $200, maybe $150. So you're talking about a $400 setup. So the question you have to ask yourself, am I willing to pay $150 to $200 for a 6-month warranty on a $400 item? I'm not. So used non-retail is the way to go. So again, that's fredmiranda.com. It's the buy and sell gear portion of the website. Another location that is non-retail, if you are familiar with Reddit, they have a forum called Photomarket, all one word, Photomarket. I have bought and sold a lot of gear from Reddit Photomarket, buying and selling. And if you want, go to the site and you can see, based on the post, if it's a B in the brackets, whatever they're called, that's a person that wants to buy something and they're offering, say, PayPal. If you see S, that's someone who's selling something and they're telling you the form of payment they'll accept. And if you see a T, it's a trade. Trades can get interesting because you're shipping something to them, they're shipping something to you. I'd start with buying and selling. I bought and sold a ton of stuff from Photomarket on Reddit, and with great success. And that's cool because you can go there and let's say you want this camera and it's not showing up on Fred Miranda. You go to Reddit, it's free, post a buy ad or a buy listing and say, want to buy Fuji XE2 body and 27mm camera, please hook me up. Someone out there has to have this camera, make me a good deal. My advice on both of those, since they're not retail, you need to create some type of, obviously you need to create a line of communication with the buyer or the seller, in this case seller. You need to create some type of rapport. And I know that's hard to do over email and chat and direct messages, but you need to do enough to where you get a vibe, whether that be a good vibe or a bad vibe. And I'll say that I've only had a bad vibe once or twice, and both times it was right. If you get a bad vibe, back out. I should say that I've done tons of buying and selling there, and I've only had 2 bad experiences. 1, the seller resolved it and took the item back. 2, I did have to go through PayPal. Luckily, I'd used goods and services, and PayPal, through a lot of hard work, was able to get my money back to me. We're talking over $1,000, so it was worth the work, but still, I should have listened to my gut. Outside of that, create a good rapport. Never be afraid to ask for additional photos. Never be afraid to ask for video of the product working. If you wanted to buy this from me, I would totally be okay if you sent me a message saying, hey, send me a photo of that thing functioning, taking a picture, you know, it working, it focusing, whatever you want. You're spending hundreds of dollars. So create the line of rapport and absolutely ask questions. Feel comfortable with your purchase. So we've gone now for used non-retail being fredmiranda.com and Reddit Photomarket. Those are the main 2 that I use for buying. When it comes to selling, I don't sell on Fred Miranda. That requires a subscription and a fee. If I really wanted something and I felt like they had it and I couldn't get it on Reddit, I might pay for a month subscription in order to list something. But now that we've covered where to buy used, let's cover why. So recently, you know that I purchased the Z50. It's filming this video as we speak. I still love that camera. I bought it new. It really wasn't out there used, and I'm seeing it used now, and it's not at much of a discount. Which means, if I were to sell mine right now, I'd be okay. But is that going to be the same in 3, 4, 5 months? It's technology, right? I was in the market because of the Z50 for a full frame. I wanted something in low light that would perform better as far as focusing in low light, better ISO performance in low light. I wanted pictures of my kids. I wanted crazy eye autofocus. And I was willing to give a full frame a try, knowing that I could probably sell it. My first option was a Nikon Z6. Those are currently going for about $1,000. I also was considering the Nikon Z6 Mark II, and that was selling for $2,000. So the math was, do I buy the Z6 for $1,000, knowing that I could probably sell it for $1,000? I could technically rent that body for $100. Say that's my loss, shipping and everything. Renting the Z6 Mark II was more. It was absolutely more, but I'm guilty. The thing is, I know that within a few months, if I wanted to sell this Mark II Z6, yeah, would I lose a couple $100? I would, but I already feel like I've gotten, at least $100 of rental fee out of this body. I don't think I can ever sell it. I think there's a purpose for the Z50, and there's a purpose for the full frame. Was recently interacting with someone on Reddit, and they were struggling, do I get the Z50? Do I get the Z5? I'm trying to, improve my business. I've got a D5600. Do I go Z6 Mark II? And one of the reasons I went with the Z6 Mark II, honestly, is I do all of my editing on an iPad or an iPhone. And so I don't have a computer. I don't have a computer to plug into the USB or USB-C or whatever. And so the Z6 was XQD only, which meant I had to add a $100 XQD card, a $50 XQD reader. Anytime I go out and about and I'm at the coffee shop, I now have more readers, more cables that I have to take. I figured that I could take about $150 to $200 of value out of the new price of this because it takes an SD card. So, but this person is, he or she, I don't know, is trying to decide, hey, what do I get? What do I get? I got a D5600. And so I asked them, what are you using it for? And do you need the AF of the Z6? If you don't need the AF of the Z6 Mark II, and you don't need that, if you're not like me and do everything on an iPad or an iPhone, and you're okay plugging, a more affordable XQD card reader straight into a laptop, the Z6 is it. I mean, and again, like I just said, if he buys or he or she buys that Z6 for $1,000 and it's the wrong camera, list it for $1,000. You're going to make or lose 100 at the most. Whereas if they went with the Z6 Mark II and it was the wrong camera, now you're talking several $100s. So I guess where I'm going is, I don't get a lot of questions, but I see a lot of questions about, which camera to get, where do I buy it? And a lot of people aren't familiar with where to buy used gear. And I thought this could be helpful. I do a lot of buying of used gear, a lot of selling of used gear, and I use Reddit Photomarket the most. I use Fred Miranda second most, a lot. In fact, the XQD card, I put a feeler out there, and I think the new XQD card for that camera was $100 for a 64 gig. I think I paid 65 shipped max, $40. That's like 40% off, and it was like brand new. Again, created a line of communication, understood how much the card was used, so on and so forth. And I'm looking for batteries. And where am I looking? Photomarket, the batteries are not going to be there. Fred Miranda, they're there, but you got to catch them fast because people pick them up. So I think that's it. If you have any questions about these used via retail, used via non-retail methods and places that I use, hit me up, leave a comment, ask a question. I'm glad to help. I can give you examples of what I've done. A lot of times I will take the communication out of the direct messages or chat Side note, avoid chat on Reddit. Reddit at Photomarket likes you to have them reply to a post and then go to direct message. Something about they can scan the IDs for scammers. But I've used them a lot and they've been great. But a lot of times I'll take that line of communication to email. I will say, provide me with your PayPal email address and we are going to communicate through your PayPal email address. And when I ship this, if I'm buying or if I'm selling to you, I'm only shipping to that PayPal shipping address. So it can be a little more work than just rolling into a Best Buy or ordering online at B&H Photo, but a little work could save you a lot of money. It just hit me. The lens on this Z6 is the 24-70 f4S Z lens. This lens new is $1,000. That's not a lot of money to some people out there. That's a lot of money to me for lenses. As part of a kit, this lens is $600. Did I buy this as part of a kit? Or did I buy it as a $1,000 lens? Neither. Before I bought this camera, I did what I always do. I went and checked Fred Miranda, Reddit Photomarket, and I found that people were selling that lens for anywhere between $400 and $500, like new. I can't find anything wrong with that lens. So I bought the body retail, but instead of paying $600 to $1,000 for the lens, I paid $400. $420 shipped, PayPal fees, everything to be exact, from Fred Miranda. So I hope these are good examples. I hope this helps. Again, if you have questions, hit me up, leave them in the comments. I'm glad to help with where to go, how to do it. The biggest piece of advice is trust your gut. Trust your gut. If it sounds good and everything, you've got a line of communication and you're feeling good about the seller and they're willing to provide photos and videos and all that fun stuff, you likely have a good transaction. If something tells you that it's off, back out and say, look, I'm just going to pass on this transaction. Thank you very much. So that is it. I'm probably over time. Hope you've enjoyed this video and take care.